Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is learn from the negative as well as the positive. Well, my father passed away about 7 years ago, kind of in his early 70s. And man, I just love my dad. He was so good to me, so loving, so helpful, so supportive, such guidance. One, easygoing, nice guy, just wise, smart, taking care of us as children. And then when I was going through my divorce, or in the aftermath of my divorce, in the years after, where my ex-wife was just really, really hard to deal with, he was like my guidance counselor. And so in the years after I left my wife, my dad and I got even closer than when I was a child. And it's a very, very special time in my life that I talked to him on the phone a lot. We got together a lot. He really helped me. He kind of got wiser with age. But there's a couple of things that I learned from him on the negative, what not to do, okay? So I love my dad, but there's just a couple of things that I think if he would have incorporated that into his life, he may have not passed away quite yet. He may have been a little more vigorous longer. So I think the first thing, that the negative, he did not lift weights. He did not lift weights ever in his life. He was a very athletic fellow. He was the star receiver on his high school team, star basketball player, very good at track. He played basketball, up until his early 30s, on leagues and pickup games, so he's very athletic. We had a small hobby farm, and he would do all the physical work, the baling the hay, the tending the animals, and so he was very physical with that. He was always doing carpentry, building things, tearing things down, building this, doing that, so he's physical, very physical, but he never had a systematic weight training program. And I think that caught up with him, over the years, that, yeah, he was very physical, very powerful, just strong, in his early 40s when we were like working together the farm. He was, so I'm a high school kid, and I was strong, but man, he was strong, and he was an office worker, right? So he had all that built up because he grew up on a farm, and farming and working and busy and life, but he never did like a systematic weight training program of heavy weights, the kind that I'm always suggesting to you, the kind that Starting Strength suggests, the kind that Gray Steel suggests. So I think he would have been well served to get on a weight training program even later in life, because at the end of his life, to me, that was the heartbreaking part. He was so weak. Well, the medications you take when you got a bad heart just strip all your energy, all your strength, all your vitality out of you. And if you don't have an enormous reserve of strength from years of weight training, you're going to suffer like you won't believe. So that's always on my mind when I think about not lifting, is I just don't want to suffer like that at the end. Plus, I love all the effects that it has on me now, but it's also that end times. So I think that was a big mistake that he made. Another big mistake was there were certain things he liked to eat that are just absolutely horrible for men and women, and I don't think it did him a bit of good. He loved margarine. Just absolutely loved margarine. The kind that comes in a tub and you smear it on your bread and your buns and your whatever. And he would just eat that stuff just like crazy. He just loved it. It's like he didn't like butter. I don't know why. I was curious why, but I didn't get a chance to ask him before he died. But maybe he had a bad experience as a kid with butter. I don't know. He liked margarine. And I think you'll find the research shows if you never eat another bite of margarine the rest of your life, you're going to be a lot healthier. So that was a vice of his, was this craving of the margarine, putting on his bread, putting on his toast, putting on his buns. He'd put margarine on sweets, right? Just, don't do that. Don't buy margarine. If you can avoid it, avoid it. Another vice he had was he liked that those powdered creamers you put in coffee. That's another bad one. That was a terrible vice on his part. He would have been better off just drinking the coffee black or buying cream. I buy like heavy whipping cream and put that in there, or I drink it black, or half and half. I never get the powdered stuff. I never, the sugary, anything having to do with sugar or carbohydrates in my coffee. No, don't do that. And he loved coffee. He was drinking coffee every day, all day. So yeah, that kind of powdered stuff, that adds up over time, because it's not just like we're having margarine once a week, right? You're having this every day. Now, truthfully, I don't think he had it. A lot of times I think he just had normal milk, but I think he had enough of it to make an effect on him. Another vice was when he was younger, he liked to smoke cigars, pipes, and chew tobacco. Now, he didn't do that long, maybe 10 or 15 years or so, and he was able to break those habits. But that kind of stuff, that's not good for you. So very happy he stopped it. But again, that kind of stuff doesn't help you. Now, I know there is some argument for smoking an occasional high quality cigar as a relaxing mechanism. So truthfully, I don't mind that. I'd have a cigar once in a great while, but I think that you're better off, especially the chewing tobacco, where you're putting the tobacco in your mouth and it's staying there for, hours at a time. So don't do that. That was a bad vice on his part. But probably the one thing that he just couldn't seem to break was the worry habit. And I think that worrying about everything, right? His family, his wife, his kids, me, my situation, his parents, his father, his mother, his brother, all these, he just took on the weight of the world. And we as a family, we loved how he helped us. We needed him to help us. But I think the worrying, that didn't help him that much. So, and I don't know that the worrying, it wasn't that the worrying didn't help us, me personally, but the actual help and the guidance, that was what helped, right? I would tell him a problem, talk to him on a Saturday morning, I say I'm going through this, he'd ponder it all day, call me back later that day and say, well, you might try this. And I probably would try that, and I would probably make some progress, right? And we had the normal talking about sports and reminiscing and good times and family and all of that wonderful father-son stuff that I hope you have with your father, and you, if you have sons, I hope you have with your son. And on a side note, one of my favorite things is talking with my son and trying to give them the guidance that my dad gave, and my own spin on life. And the spin I want you to take away the most is to work on eliminating the worry from your life. If you suffer from worry, that's not good for you, and I know it wasn't good for my dad. And I wish, me and my family, and we didn't put him through so much worry. But I think he knew this, right? He knew it. He talked about it, and he knew he had a problem. But there are programs, there's methods, there's guidance, there's ways you can work through your worry habit so you don't worry so much. At a minimum, he didn't drink beer, didn't drink anything. I could probably count how many beers he had on two hands, right, in a lifetime. I have found that a little bit of drinking alcohol helps you to lower your worry. And so I guess I'm kind of grateful that I found this out. Now, certainly don't turn into a drunk because you worry a little bit, but I think you'll find that if you can have some drinking here and there, if it helps you to lower your worrying, it will be a net benefit. Now, of course, the worst combination is to drink a lot and to worry a lot, right? You're probably going to end up in an early grave at that rate. So don't do that. I'm talking about using whatever methods you need to lose the worry habit. There are specific programs you can buy to help you with this. One of my favorite self-help teachers is Dr. Robert Anthony. He has a great eliminating the worry habit. I think even Dale Carnegie has a book about how to stop worrying. My dad read all these books. He tried that, and over time he lessened his worrying. But sometimes the damage gets done at a younger age. So if you worry at all, I would make it a priority to figure out how not to worry. I don't worry that much anymore. I've been able to work through all that. I've studied all kinds of different self-help programs to get through worry. I've used lots of different techniques on how not to worry. It doesn't bother me. I can get up in front of dozens, hundreds of people and give a public presentation. I can, spit out my opinions in front of critical people and not worry about it. I can go up to meet the beautiful girls and talk to them, right? I don't worry about things. I can meet whoever, right? I've more or less broken this worry habit. I've traveled by myself and I stay out late and I have fun and I do whatever I want and I don't worry about things. And certainly I take precautions. I take precautions and preparations and use various techniques in order to lessen my worry and get it down to a very, very low level. And that's what you should do. So, I wish my dad was here that I could explain to him all these different techniques to how to worry. I use his as an example of a great man who had just a couple of issues that would have helped his life. So I'm hoping that you can use some of those negative things that I've learned from my father to take your life from here to way up into the stratosphere. If you don't worry, if you lift weights, if you don't eat the wrong things, man, your life is going to be just glorious. So give that idea some thought. All for now.